Becky was 16 when the woman came to her village. The woman arrived in a clean car, the kind that made dust look ashamed of itself. She wore sunglasses too big for her face and spoke softly, like someone who didn't need to raise her voice to be heard. She said she had opportunities in Spain, real work, good money, a chance to help family back home. Becky's mother listened with tired eyes. Her father had died 2 years earlier, and the small farm no longer fed them. Becky didn't think of it as leaving. She thought of it as fixing things. The journey was long, confusing, and full of silences no one explained. There were other girls too, some younger, some older. They traveled through cities Becky couldn't name, crossed borders at night, hid in trucks, waited in cramped rooms. By the time Becky reached Spain, she already knew. The woman handed her over to a man who barely looked at her face. He spoke about debt, as if it were a simple thing. Travel costs, documents, a number so large it didn't feel real. The first months blurred together. Long nights. Rules that were never written down but strictly enforced. A constant reminder, you owe. She watched everything, who got punished and why. Which girls lasted longer? Which ones broke? She learned quickly that survival wasn't about strength. It was about control over your face, your voice, your reactions. Years passed. Eventually, her debt was declared paid. It didn't feel like freedom. It felt like standing in an open field after years in a cage. That's when the woman with the sunglasses found her again. This time she smiled differently. You're smart, she told Becky. You understand how things work. You don't have to be on the street anymore. Becky didn't answer immediately. She already understood what was being offered, not escape promotion. She was still trapped in a system that had no clean exits. The difference was whether she stayed at the bottom or climbed. Becky started by managing small things, keeping track of money, watching over newer girls, translating when needed. She told herself she was helping them. She stopped beatings when she could. She made sure they ate. But she also enforced the rules. Over time, Becky became someone others reported to. She dressed better, spoke more confidently. The system that had swallowed her now fed her. Years later, Becky stood at an airport in Spain waiting. A new group of girls was arriving. One of them reminded her of herself. Same posture. Same nervous way of looking around for something familiar that wasn't there. For a moment, Becky felt something sharp in her chest. Not quite regret. Not quite guilt. Something harder to name. The girl met her eyes. Are you Becky? She asked. Becky nodded. The girl smiled, relieved. They said you would help us. Becky returned the smile, polished, practiced. Yes, she said. I will. And she meant it, in the only way she knew how anymore. That night, Becky sat alone in her apartment. She poured herself a drink and stared at her reflection. She had become exactly what she once feared. But the truth was more complicated. Becky didn't see herself as cruel. She saw herself as practical. There was no clean line between victim and perpetrator anymore, just a long, blurred stretch of survival. In the silence, the past never fully disappeared. It just waited, quieter now, beneath everything she had built.